Hello and welcome to another LEGO Train MOC Showcase video. We are back with another Thomas character. This is a Japanese National Railways D51 class, but on Sodor, he is known as Hiro. The Master of the Railways was a character I wanted to make for a good while, to be honest. Not too long, but I thought, you know what, Hiro would be one of those characters that I just would love to build. And I don't know why, but trying to find reference pictures of the character was stupidly difficult. Like, seriously, I went to Google Images, typed in Thomas Hiro, and, with all the different search types and all the ways you could describe the character, it was the same 2 or 3 pictures over and over again. So I used reference images of the real-life locomotive, and it's more so the real engine than it is Hiro. But you can still look at this and go, yeah, this is supposed to be Hiro. This is one of the few Thomas character models I have made that does not have a face, and because I went for a more realistic look when making this model, I think I'm pretty much okay with it now. So yeah, it was quite interesting to get this model built, make the massive smoke deflectors, realise that Hiro's face is much further forward, but since there was no decent Hiro toy to pluck the face from, i.e. nothing big enough, there are Hiro toys out there, but they're basically tiny. Settling with this was okay because the black and gold look is just so gorgeous. One thing that was certain from the get-go when I first thought about making this model is that I was going to have to use these standard size drive wheels instead of buying new ones. Now this is good and bad because, this saves me having to spend more money on parts. I was thankfully able to make this in a couple of days without having to make any bricklink orders, but these aren't really the size wheel I would personally use. I think extra large wheels look better, but I would again have to buy them, and that's not something I'm too keen on doing. Now, this is still pretty good because this is kind of pretty much in scale with my other Thomas characters. The locomotive model is 8 studs wide, but it's not that tall or that long. It still looks pretty good, but it's, within the Thomas character scale that I've made, and I'm actually really impressed with that. I've just taken off the steam cylinder for this model because I want to quickly give this a quick one-over. It's the most unique steam cylinder model I have ever had to make. It's just standard bricks and plates. It's so different to pretty much every other cylinder design I've ever had to make for other steam locomotives. And I'm actually so happy with that because of how simple it is. It's nothing complicated, there's no technical parts to have to wedge in there. Because of the design of the locomotive, this steam cylinder is just really good. And again, it came together so quickly because I knew how I wanted to make this. It's simple, no complications. I love it. The Unlucky Tug has done an episode of Sodor's Finest on the character of Hiro, and one thing he pointed out was the livery. It's very similar to how the real locomotive has its livery. The only main difference is Hiro has some gold lining on it. The gold and black with the little bits of red and white, it works so well. It's so sophisticated, it's classy, it's professional. It's just so gorgeous, and I'm so happy that Hiro was kept to this instead of going with some wacky, crazy livery that some characters do have. I personally do like that because, custom liveries is something I'm all for. But for a locomotive like this, it's just perfection. Having mentioned earlier that this model overall isn't that big, the tender really isn't that big. It's, again, 8 studs wide, but it just looks so short and stumpy compared to other tenders I've made. I don't know why it is exactly, but again, when you look at other models and the appropriate scale of the tenders, it matches. But in comparison to the rest of the locomotive boiler, it looks a bit mismatched. It's not bad or wrong. Again, I've used reference images of the real-life locomotive, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's not British, because I've made so many British locomotives. Maybe this is just something I'm not quite used to. It's just a bit weird, a bit of a standout feature, so to say. I have also attempted a new design for the springs on the wheels for the tender, and honestly, this is something I am so happy with. I've seen a couple of other builders try this for their models, and it works. It's so compact and simple, and something I'm going to have to try for future models going forward. My model of Hiro is something I am very proud of. I build a lot of LEGO trains, and I pretty much love them all, but there are some that stand out above the others, and this is definitely one of them. And I think because this particular model doesn't have a face, and it's supposed to represent a Thomas character, I think that's why I love this just a little bit more than others. It's so sophisticated, again, it's classy, it looks elegant, it's just a really well-made model. Some design features were quite simple, but that's a good thing. some new techniques were made, and overall this is a model I am in love with. So there we have it. Thank you all ever so much for watching. In the description you will find a link to my Discord server where you can chat with like-minded fans of LEGO trains and Nerf blasters. Also in the description you can find links to my Instagram and Flickr pages for some sneak peeks and behind the scenes action. Keep an eye out on my community tab for polls and updates. Thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.